You know, there comes a time in life when the warmth we've always surrounded ourselves with, the comfort of routine, the familiarity of old habits, starts to feel a little heavy, doesn't it? Like a thick blanket on a summer day, what once soothed us can begin to weigh us down. And after 70, that's when we might need to learn something unexpected: how to live coldly. Now, I don't mean shutting people out or becoming unkind. No, living coldly is about finding strength in simplicity, peace in quiet independence, and freedom in letting go of what no longer serves us. It's about preserving your energy for what truly matters. Think about it. How much of your day is spent worrying over things you can't control, saying yes when you'd rather say no, or clinging to relationships that drain more than they give? It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if I told you that by embracing a cooler, calmer way of living, you could find more peace, more strength, and even more joy in these later years? Let's talk about why this matters. As we age, our time becomes more precious, and how we spend it, who we spend it with, makes all the difference. You've earned the right to be selective, to focus on what fills you up rather than what wears you down. And that's where living coldly comes in. It's not about being harsh, it's about being wise. One of the most powerful reasons to embrace this way of living is the clarity it brings. When we stop pouring our energy into every little demand, whether it's other people's expectations or our own unnecessary worries, we create space for what truly enriches us. Imagine waking up without that mental clutter, without the weight of obligations that don't bring you happiness. That's the gift of stepping back, of choosing where to invest your warmth and where to hold back. Another reason? Strength. There's a quiet power in knowing you don't have to react to every little thing, that you can let small annoyances pass by like a breeze you barely feel. So many of us spend years being pulled in every direction, but now you get to decide what deserves your attention. And when you do, you'll notice something surprising. You feel lighter, more in control, more yourself. And then there's peace. Real deep peace. The kind that comes from not needing everyone's approval, from no longer chasing after things that never really mattered in the long run. You've lived long enough to know what lasts and what fades. So why not focus on what truly brings you contentment? Living coldly means letting go of the noise, the unnecessary drama, the endless striving, and instead settling into the calm that comes with knowing who you are and what you want. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a shift, a gentle turning away from old habits and towards something quieter, steadier. But once you start, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. And as we move forward, we'll explore even more reasons why this way of living can bring you the peace and strength you deserve. Because here's the truth. After 70, you've earned the right to live on your own terms, not cold-hearted, but clear-minded, strong, and utterly at peace. And that's something worth embracing. You know, one of the most beautiful things about getting older is realizing just how little we actually need to be happy. Think back to when you were younger. How much energy you spent trying to keep up with everyone else, trying to meet expectations, or chasing things you thought would bring fulfillment. But now you have the wisdom to see through all that. And that's where living coldly, in the best sense of the word, becomes such a gift. Let's talk about independence. There's a certain freedom that comes when we stop relying so much on others for our happiness. Now, don't get me wrong, connection is important, but there's a difference between enjoying company and needing it to feel whole. When we learn to be comfortable in our own company, to find joy in solitude, we become stronger. We're no longer at the mercy of someone else's mood or schedule. We can savor our own thoughts, our own routines, without apology. That's true independence, and it's incredibly empowering. Then there's the power of detachment. Not in an uncaring way, but in a way that protects your peace. How many times have you found yourself caught up in someone else's drama, feeling like you have to fix things or take sides? But here's the thing, you don't. One of the greatest lessons of aging is realizing that not every problem is yours to solve. You can care deeply without carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Letting go of that burden doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. It allows you to conserve your energy for the things and the people that truly matter to you. And speaking of energy, let's talk about boundaries. After 70, your time and your well-being are precious. You've earned the right to say no to obligations that drain you, to conversations that exhaust you, to anything that doesn't align with the life you want to live. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. Think of it like this. If your energy were a cup of water, why would you keep pouring it into things that leave you empty? Living coldly means guarding that cup, so you always have enough left for yourself and the people you truly love. Now, some might worry that this approach could lead to loneliness, but the opposite is often true. When you stop spreading yourself thin, when you stop saying yes just to please others, you create space for more meaningful connections. The people who truly matter will still be there, and those relationships will be richer because they're built on honesty, not obligation. This way of living isn't about shutting the world out. It's about choosing, with intention, what you let in. And when you do, you'll find a deeper sense of calm, a stronger sense of self, and a life that feels lighter, freer, and more truly your own. There's still more to explore about how living coldly can bring you peace and strength, especially when it comes to letting go of old regrets and embracing the present. But already, you can start to see how this shift in mindset isn't about losing warmth, it's about directing it where it matters most. You've lived long enough to know that life has a way of teaching us the same lessons until we finally learn them. And if there's one lesson worth mastering after 70, it's this. Not everything deserves your emotional investment. Some things, some people, are simply not worth the energy they demand. Living coldly means recognizing that truth without guilt, without apology. It means understanding that preserving your peace isn't selfish, it's survival. Let's talk about regrets. We all carry them, those heavy what-ifs and if-onlys that can haunt us if we let them. But here's the liberating thing about this stage of life. You no longer have to cling to them. Living coldly means allowing yourself to drop those burdens, one by one, like shedding an old coat that no longer fits. What's done is done. What's gone is gone. And what remains is the life you're living right now, this moment, this breath, this opportunity to choose differently. When you stop reheating old regrets, you free up space for contentment, even joy. Then there's the art of indifference, not to the people you love, but to the petty distractions that used to rattle you. The neighbor's thoughtless comment, the slow-moving line at the grocery store, the news cycle designed to stir up outrage. None of it needs your emotional response. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you simply let those things pass by like clouds, noticed but not clung to. That's the power of living coldly. You decide what gets under your skin, and more often than not, the answer is not much. And finally, there's the ultimate freedom, releasing the need for external validation. How much of your life has been spent seeking approval, worrying what others think, or bending yourself into shapes to fit expectations? But at this age, you've earned the right to stand firm, unshaken by opinions that don't matter. Your worth isn't up for debate. When you truly grasp that, you stop seeking warmth from unreliable sources and discover you've had your own steady fire all along. So, where does this leave us? Not with a cold heart, but with a clear mind. Not with isolation, but with intentional connection. Living coldly after 70 isn't about losing your warmth. It's about directing it wisely, fiercely, where it truly belongs. Toward yourself, toward the people who've earned it, toward the life you want to live on your own terms. You've spent decades giving, adjusting, accommodating. Now is your time to conserve, to choose, to cherish what matters and let go of what doesn't. And here's the beautiful part. The more you practice this way of living, the more you'll find that what once felt like coldness is actually strength. A deep, unshakable strength that comes from knowing exactly who you are and no longer asking permission to be it. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're ready to stop carrying? What weighs on you that you'd love to release? Let's share and inspire each other. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more conversations like this, and remember, your peace is precious. Guard it, cherish it, and never apologize for putting it first. Here's to living your wisest, most empowered years yet, on your terms, with your strength, and in your own perfect peace.